A treacle is a very scary thing to do. Wait, didn't I do this already? Give me a sec. When a game is good, nah. The follow up to an amazing, nah. Here we go. 3 is the magic number, or so they say. Not many franchises can say that they made it to the coveted number 3. It's hard enough as is to please fans with a sequel, but to keep fans engaged enough for a third go is daunting. If your game has a good story, it's not hard to reel fans back in. But what if your game is a cut and dry, good guy versus bad guy story that we've seen countless times? What if the gameplay is repetitive? Do you change the whole game for something fresh? Well, no. If you truly love a game, your fans will know by just how much care and effort goes into it. The small details that show that you thought about how everyone's experience will be while playing this. Fans notice this and they love it. Sure, there are hundreds of games that play in a similar style, but when you build a franchise and show that you care, even the most simple of things in this game can be amazing. Case in point, our orange tornado of death, Crash Bandicoot. System, check. Sticks, check. Game, check. SB! What up everybody, SBSteve here, and today we finish off the original trilogy for this orange beast and what many people believe to be his greatest adventure to date. But with a game that's pretty much the same thing all the time, how can this one be way better than the rest? Well, if you saw my last Crash 2 video, you'll begin to understand that it doesn't take much to improve a game, and with this not being Crash's last adventure, how can this one be leaps and bounds better than the rest? Well, let's find out and play Crash War! So from all the praise I'm giving this game, I'm sure you can guess my feelings towards it. I love this game, and I can truly say this game kickstarted my love for Crash. The previous 2 games, while being amazing in their own right, never made me think that Crash was a game worth playing over and over again. See, I had brothers, so our main focus was being better at each other at every multiplayer game that we would play, so for the most part, single player games took a back seat. We would play Smash 64, Mario Party, Marvel vs. Capcom, basically anything multiplayer, but man, Crash 3 was special. It made me want to turn on our PlayStation and go to work. I was broke baby Steve still, so I didn't have a memory card to save my games, but I didn't care. This game was too much fun and I started over countless times with the hope of getting further each time. But what makes this game better to pick up than the last 2? Is it the story? Is it the gameplay? Well, to answer that, stop asking so many questions and watch the video. So the story picks up with Cortex failing yet again and having the Cortex Vortex falling directly onto some old ruins, releasing an ominous spirit. Now, before we go on, let's stop here, because I'm sure I'll forget later on. Where the hell is Brio? There's no explanation as to where he is or where he went, and that's kind of dumb if you ask me. The guy literally blew up the vortex. You'd think he'd be a little bit more buddy-buddy with Crash, but I guess screw it. Get it? Screw it? Cause Brio has screws in his head? Yeah, I'm corny, deal with it, so what? Now, back to the story. So the spirit goes to Cortex and starts to let him have it. Turns out that this is Uka Uka, Aku Aku's younger hot-headed brother. Constantly losing to Crash has made Uka Uka furious with Cortex, and he decides it is time to personally get involved. So now we have to deal with Cortex and a piece of magical wood, but that's not all. We have some returning faces coming back like Tiny and Jin. We have some new recruits as well like Dingo Dial and I don't know what the hell this guy's supposed to be. Is he a crocodile? Who knows? The most important recruit is a grown Smurf named Entropy. Entropy creates a time twister machine and vows to end Crash for Uka Uka. See, this game's levels are based around different time periods, and the time twister machine makes it possible to visit these different times. You might end up in medieval times or go back to the prehistoric area. Who knows? It's still essentially the same game. Go get the crystals and go get the gems. I love the development in this game too. Like the previous games, you get your enemies giving you a little smack talk the closer you get to reaching them, and this time, it's every boss. Every time they would pop up on screen and I couldn't wait to trash them. Except for Tiny. Tiny's been good to me. Midway through the game, you get to fight Entropy. And I don't know about this. Entropy played a pretty big role in the game and it kind of felt like they just wanted to get rid of him. This game, in my opinion, is the fastest in the trilogy in terms of pacing, so when I got to Entropy, I kinda felt like I didn't get to do much there, and the fight was done quick. I wouldn't mind if they would've flipped the script and made Entropy the final boss, giving him some cool time mechanics or something. But at least Cortex didn't suck this time around, but I'll talk about him a little later. Once you've beaten Cortex for the third time, geez, this is getting repetitive, you get Aku Aku telling you that he will be back again. But we're not here for a weak ending. We want the real thing. Well, I didn't get the real thing this time around, and why would I resort to looking up the 105% ending? 2 words: time trials. I don't have to explain my hate for time trials since I mention it in practically every video, and I know, I broke my promise, boys and girls. I did a time trial, and a lot of them. At first, I was a little hesitant to try them out, but then, hey, who are you guys? Where you guys taking me? Hold on! What the? What am I doing here? I'm not a criminal. I review games.
Not a criminal. Yo, you think you playing with here? You know what you did, you know what you promised.
Promises? Did I promise you anything? I don't even know you, so how the hell would I promise you anything? By the way, who exactly are you?
Don't worry about it, SB. I'm high level.
Your badge just says authority.
Keep it up. There's more where that came from.
Just tell me what I did.
Now the boy has amnesia. Well, let me give you some broccoli to remember that. In that last video, you said you weren't gonna do time trials, remember?
Yeah, so what?
Yeah,
So what exactly does that have anything to do with you?
I have everything to do with that. I am the internet police. Everything you say has to be the truth. And if I find out that you're lying, ooh, I swear, if I find out that you're lying,
What are you gonna do about it?
well, that's easy. I'll report you, or something like that.
So why'd you smack me?
Well, usually people smack me first. I figured I'd get the first crack, and it worked.
You know what? I'll give you those. I'm just gonna go finish my review. Stay away from me.
Well, if you don't want to see me again, you know what you gotta do. You know what you gotta do!
Jeez, man, I swear, there's some weirdos on here. Whatever, where was I? Oh yeah. Before I was abducted, I was talking about time trials and how I actually did them. I'm not going to say I hated it either because it was enjoyable on some levels, but having to get a gold relic on each level just for the last gem was something I was not going to enjoy. I like the game, and the last thing I want to do is make it a chore. I got them for most levels, but when I saw how annoying it would be to get the gold on each level, I just didn't want to ruin the fun for this game. If I ever go back to get all the gold relics, it's definitely going to be a very, very long time from now. When I would recommend a Crash game, I say forget the other two and start here. Yeah, your experience with the other two might not be as great after playing this, but they're still great games. Crash 3 is just a better one by a mile in my opinion. In terms of difficulty, I consider this game to be the easiest of the bunch only because of the extra moves you get throughout the adventure. You still have your standard jump, spin, slide, and slam, but now as you progress and beat bosses, you're awarded an extra skill to help you get around a little easier. Almost all skills are pretty useful if you ask me. Almost all the skills are useful. Naturally, I started experimenting with the different moves and I was surprised at how many things I could avoid and skip, and I could finally start seeing my speedrunner dream manifesting before me. Is this power? Am I God? God damn it, another blue relic? What the hell, man? I tried my... You know what? I'll just stick to playing these games. With all the extra skills, the game becomes a little easier than I expected, which isn't a bad thing by any means. If you wanted to, you can play the game by only using the original buttons, but why limit yourself? These new moves make an incredible game even more fun. And you would think that would be all, right? Nope. Crash 3 has a variety of level types as well. In the hub roll, which I think is a huge improvement from Crash 2, you get a picture of a level right before you're about to go in. In the picture, you see different images as to what type of level you're about to play in. The majority of the levels are the same as the other two games, which is just run and jump and get to the end, but some levels are different. There are some levels you get to pilot a plane, ride a motorcycle, hell, you can even play as Coco in some ski jet missions, and the way Crash drops when you try to enter some of these levels as him is pretty funny too. There's so much level variety here, and it keeps the game fresh and still making you feel like you're playing the same old Crash. I don't need to talk about any of the gems or crystals because that stuff's still the same as before. And one thing I can say I personally like this time around are the boss fights. They're not incredibly hard or anything, but they're fun to play, and that's all that really matters. Tiny's fight was fun, Dingle's was short, Entropy was really fun, and I really like the small beef they gave Coco and Engine. And this Cortex fight is definitely the best one out of the three. This game is great with all the new moves and levels they added into the game. I really can't talk bad about it. Being the third installment in the series, you have to pull out all the stops, and this game goes above and beyond. The only thing I would critique is how easy the game is and how annoying some of the challenge trials are. That is if you go for gold or better. So, we are finally here. The end of the original Crash series. And I can honestly say, I enjoyed it all. I'm pretty glad that the remasters put some well-deserved shine back on Crash. Look at that, we only have one more to go, and personally my most anticipated, Crash Team Racing. But, before we move on, what did I think about all three of the originals? Well, in terms of having fun, I'd put it like this. 3 is on top, then followed by the original, and then 2. Crash 2, while fun, just didn't give me the excitement that 1 and 3 gave me. 1 introduced us to an amazing game, and 3 just showed us how far they can actually take it. If any of you are thinking about playing these games, I would definitely say play all 3 of them, but if you're looking for one to have a lot of fun with, I would definitely say give Warp a shot. Well, I've talked enough for the video, so like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you can know whenever I post. You can follow me at SBSteve50 on Twitter and Instagram whenever you want to recommend me something, or hey, if you just want to talk, I'm there. My name, as always, SB! That's a wrap.